What's up, everybody? Welcome to Building Our Power. This is Gabby.
And Katie.
And we're back with another episode. Make sure you follow us on all social media channels at Building Our PWR. Also, guys, don't forget, we are raising funds to keep our local community fridges stocked and to distribute propaganda. If you would like to contribute, we have a PayPal link in our description. And we are selling merch in the description. And all proceeds go to that. Also, guys, don't forget about the Frito-Lay strike. Do not cross the picket line if not necessary. And I think that's all housekeeping.
All right.
So, today, we know, guys, we told you we were going to talk about the do not vote and do an episode on that. But give us one more week. We want to do some research. We want to get y'all some tea. We want to give y'all a historical lesson to support our claims and our stances. So, that will definitely come next week. This week, we're going to talk about the landlords. KT actually has a burner account on Facebook where she catfishes as an old white man, and she joins these landlord groups and pages. And so what we're going to do is pretty much scroll through these landlord pages and just use this stuff as a teaching moment to just show y'all how landlords, as we already said, are evil. Landlords are demonic. Landlords are thieves. Landlords are the scum of the earth. Okay, Katie, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the first thing, because there's quite a few stories here, so just bear with us. But I think one of the first things that we should do, because you know you're going to have people in the comments that are saying, landlords are all terrible, blah, 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 blah. There's some good people too, there's some real good landlords.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you know that's what they're going to do. They always sound real country, and I don't know why, but yeah. So the first story is going to be coming from a renter. He actually received a letter and a check in the mail for $2,500. The letter itself basically goes into details, and it talks about how the previous landlord had shared a home with the person that was getting the $2,500 check. And basically what happened was that person, that renter who had paid that $2,500, they paid it over a long period of time due to it being a fraction of the overall expenses that was happening with the actual landlord's property in and of itself. So they go on to say that they calculated the amount of principal paid each month that person lived there. They split it by who was living in the house at the time and added 40%, the increase in value of the home from when that person bought it. And then while it's not much, it's yours. It was a great house, and I'm glad that I was able to share it with you. So me and Gab were like, wow, what? A landlord gave $2,500 back to somebody from some kind of interest that they paid over a time living in their house. And of course, we go to the comment section.
All right, so I'm going to read some of the comments from the landlords, because this is a really, a little good feeling story or whatever. So, one guy says, I'd consider it if I got profit sharing from Amazon, the gas station, the grocery store, the government. So, pretty much going into the fact that landlordship is a business, and they feel like because major corporations that they slave away on don't give them any dividends from their work, that they have no obligation or they shouldn't even consider being a human. And giving these people pennies back that they've put into these properties that they're just going to put in their pocket anyway. Evil. Okay, this one girl says, I like to think of myself as a good person, but F that. I was paying my mortgage just fine before my brother-in-law moved in. He needed a place to go. We didn't need him. In fact, I can't wait till our newest property is renovated so he can get the heck out of my house. What in the world?
Mad about?
These are your landlords. Absolutely not, LMAO. Considering I live there too, and if it was a shared living situation, I had to put up with everyone's BS and be dad for a bunch of grown men. Okay, but you're pocketing money. You're telling me you just charge these people a fair rate, whatever that is. But even then, it's not a fair rate because you're gonna end up with the house at the end of the day, and they're gonna have to end up going somewhere eventually when you have enough money to kick them out. I would consider it if I was wealthy, but this is going to be my retirement. Okay, so literally,
Are you serious?
hearing this? Your rent is going for somebody else's retirement, and they only see you as a dollar amount, which is why they will do the very bare minimum.
Literally.
Just so you'll shut up and they won't get in trouble, but that's all you doing. Your money as a working class person or anybody is funding these people to live lavish lives and to have retirement, which most of us will not have.
This next post has a picture of a bunch of air conditioners that are extremely moldy. But basically, the gist of this post is a landlord is asking whether or not his tenant's AC unit, what he needs to do with it in order to get rid of the mold.
All right, so the comment right up under it is this lady, actually a black lady, said, looks like it's time for a new air conditioner. I doubt that happened overnight, so it's long overdue. Honestly, I would be ashamed to ask that question after seeing these pictures, not trying to be mean. And so then the guy's like, lol, thanks. Unfortunately, I've been addressing other issues like avoiding bankruptcy and a national moratorium on rent. But I guess money limitations are not something you're experienced with. Not to be mean, but do any of you have experience with giving advice that isn't riddled with judgmental statements? I don't envy your significant other. Ooh, they got into it. Anyways.
The drama.
Anyways, this dude literally is saying, I've been too busy thinking about trying to apparently have bankruptcies. So you don't have enough money to support the payment of this mortgage. And because of that, you're allowing your tenants to breathe moldy air. And I assure you, they are paying way more than whatever it is you claim you making, and they do not deserve, nobody, even if they were living there for free, do not deserve to live breathing in moldy air. That's a fault on you, and you as a quote-unquote landlord are not doing your job. So I do agree with that girl. Don't even come up on here. You know the answer. You're gonna try to find a little quick fix to patch stuff up, but you, at least, the least thing you can do is make sure your tenants are living in safe conditions. But they don't care about that. They just care about taking your money. But let it have been you who had something growing on in your house, for whatever reason, some mold or something that you caused. I bet you surely he gonna make sure you get on that immediately or kick you out or call the police to do something. But his obligation to you is what? As long as you have a place to stay, that's it.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Gabby. Yeah, I would not want to have moldy anything in my house because you can die from right. You can die from that. But definitely our next one that we're gonna read, it says, "Is there anything we can add to our new rental agreement that states something like, COVID or not, this property and landlord still requires rent to be paid?"
What in the world? So if you have COVID or not,
it doesn't matter to them. If you can't go to work, if you're dying on a ventilator, you gotta pay rent.
Somebody said you can add it, but it won't hold up if they qualify for the moratorium. And everybody's telling them, yeah, you can't do that. But the fact that that guy would want to put that in there, I mean, it just shows you these people, it's just all about the money. It's nothing about your humanity. It's like, I don't care if you have cancer and you dying, you finna pay for this rent. Yep. Which is why, I mean, pretty much the gist of this stuff is that landlords, they brand themselves as if they're doing us a service, when really all they've done is they bought up housing that you could have been living in yourself, inflated the market so that buying houses is super more expensive than it should be. And so now everybody is dependent on buying or renting out, renting pretty much. And that's because of them. Somebody said, like, renters provide housing just like scalpers provide tickets. What do scalpers do? Scalpers, as soon as Beyonce tickets hit, they go on the website, they get all the bots, they buy up all the tickets that they're not going to be able to attend because it's only one person. And then they upsell these ticket prices and they make you pay more. That's all the landlord does, and they do the bare minimum.
Yep, I agree. That's crazy. There is one other one that I did see, and I want to kind of bring it up. And this will be our last one in regards to this. But there was one where this realtor lady was showing some gifts that she had given to her newly people that she had like rented to. And she was like, okay, well, this is a move-in gift for all of my brand new renters. It's just Dollar Tree stuff, right? It's not like she's giving them $1 million for moving into the house. Dollar Tree stuff. Anyway, you look at the comments, and it just shows you that these people are just absolute rats, vultures.
Yeah.
There was majority people in the comments saying things like, my gift is giving the keys to the person. How is that a gift? That's not a gift. I'm paying your rent.
That's the thing. We're providing them with the service.
Housing. I'm providing you housing, and you just gonna say my gift is the keys. Like, that's just so rude to me. And like, I don't know. I guess for me, I feel like if I was a renter, which I would never be anyway, but if I was a renter, what would I want?
If you were a landlord.
Or yeah, if I was a landlord, how would I want my tenant's life to look like underneath me, right? You could either be a landlord who doesn't give a shit about their tenants, or you could be a landlord that gives at least a minimal amount of shit about their tenants, and you're going to have people lining up to come into your freaking apartment complex. Literally. That's just business.
People, they figure, see, this is the thing about capitalists. We are the worker ants. They view you as scum. They view you as just means to an end. They view you as things that help them accrue money. They obviously do not see these people as people. If the thought of giving these people a box of popcorn and some scissors and some pencils is enough for them to go in an uproar. So yeah, all landlords are evil, even the good ones. I think I even saw on TikTok, you see that video where it was like that black landlord that was saying, like, at first she was making it seem like she was like the evil landlord that was like, yeah, y'all over here can buy y'all some new nails and a new fresh wig, but y'all ain't getting money for rent.
Right.
And then eventually she was like, but I'll help you find some things, and we'll go to the place and we'll find resources so that you can pay your rent. It's like, girl, I'm not gonna clap for you either, because you're only doing that because that's gonna help you put money in your pocket.
That's a thing too. Like, okay, I hate to keep this on, but I'm in these groups, and there's also like a Section 8 landlord group that I'm in on Facebook. And, yeah, they're, like, even worse.
They are worse.
They're absolutely worse, because they think that, like, Section 8 has its own specific rules and stuff like that through different states. But imagine you thinking that anyone who doesn't get a portion of their rent paid automatically owes you the rest of it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just terrible, and you guys need to go and look at it.
You know, the interesting thing about Section 8 housing is they put all the onus on the recipients to upkeep the property, when literally I have no incentive. Like, if I want to go out there and I just get sick and tired of seeing trash out here, I'll go out there and do it. But the fact that it is these low-income, working-class, poor people that it becomes their responsibility to take up the slack of the landlords who can't be bothered to even cut the grass of their own property. And then it starts to look bad on them. All those Section 8 houses, that's why they look like that. Those Section 8 houses. Those are crappy landlords who are just becoming slumlords, just using that property to get money and not caring nothing about the people that's living there.
And this is another thing about Section 8, and again, this is kind of off topic, but to get on it, at least here in Tennessee, the last time it was open was like in 2015 for Tennessee residents. To get on Section 8, period, is hard in itself. I can't imagine, like, having a shitty landlord on top of barely being able to find anywhere to live or be able to afford rent. You probably gotta work for $7.25 an hour. You have nothing, practically. You have nothing. The quality of life is at zero. Anyway.
All right, you told me that.
Sure did.
I will finish it off because there's something else that's really going on with the landlords too. Is it's not just individual people anymore that's renting out these properties. These are large corporations. What was the one, Blackwater, that are in the Biden administration now. Is like a hedge fund that is just buying out all these houses around America and going to rent them out. So we're not going to have any houses to buy. So this guy from Memphis wrote this post, and it's interesting for two reasons. So I'll read it first. He said, Memphis, Tennessee, I hate to say this, guys, but somebody's got to say it. The cheap rent days is over. If you got a place already, I recommend you stay. What's happening is gentrification. Listen to this. These landlords are selling their properties to New York landlords and California landlords for a great amount of money. For example, we sold one of our duplexes in Frazier that we paid $50,000 for two years ago for $160,000. 3 beds, 2 baths each side. My tenants were paying $700 a month for each side. Those tenants no longer there because now the rent is $1,250 a month each side, and somebody is paying it. Best thing you can do is try to buy you a home if you can. Listen to that. Because these California and New Yorker landlords don't give a damn. And every other landlord and rental company is following right behind them. Think I'm lying? Look around. In a minute, you won't have nowhere to go. And you know what's crazy? The person that made the Memphis Rentals page group on Facebook is from California. She always deletes my posts. Okay. But then again, he's a landlord. He's talking like a landlord. Again.
But then, my thing is like, to mention gentrification, people just throw around that word like it means nothing, almost. But that's a negative thing. That's literally a negative thing. I understand that he's warning tenants of this, but from a landlord perspective and how he is a landlord himself, that's a good thing for them, right? And it's almost like a ha. Guess what? You're not going to have $700 rent anymore. Good luck, tenants. Too bad, so sad. We're selling up our properties to California people. And so it's asshole-ish is the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
And I feel like the only reason why he is even making posts about it and even pressed about it now is because these bigger landlords are buying properties and he can't buy no property for $50,000. See, if it was just him buying the properties from us people who were trying to purchase a home, he wouldn't have made no post.
No.
But because it's these big corporations he's having to compete with, now he's going on there to complain and say this, then the third. But sir, you are part of the gentrification process in yourself. You literally just stated that you sold a house to the Californians. And then you just a landlord anyway. Landlord in itself is gentrification. That was a duplex. That could have been somebody's house. You split that junk in the middle and said, I'm finna get rent from this side and rent from this side of the house. You are just as bad.
That is something else that really needs to be highlighted as far as the renting crisis is what I'm going to call it. And I say that because we literally, especially here in Memphis, I don't know about other places, but if we go to these little neighborhoods that used to be specifically black neighborhoods, specifically lower income neighborhoods, if there is a single big house in that entire neighborhood, I bet you right now that big house has been turned into a fucking duplex where there's 5 people renting that house now.
Yep.
And it's just disgusting. To me, that's disgusting because that means that you are so greedy. You are so money hungry. Instead of giving that house at a reasonable rate to literally people who need it, you would rather rent it to multiple people and make them share one washer and dryer.
It's all about money. It's all about investment. It's all an investment, which is why I do not think that landlords need to be saved in these bills and stuff like that, because it's an investment. If I invest $10,000 into Pepsi Cola and tomorrow they crash and burn, that's on me. Ain't nobody gonna save my tail.
Literally.
Ain't nobody finna save me. So why do these landlords have all this these rights and can be saved and can be helped and can be this and can be that? Because they are lobbying on Wall Street and on the Capitol Hill right now. And like I said, they're on Joe Biden's administration thing. So that is the reality of what we're going through right now. We just want to highlight these things because these people will try to make it seem like you in the wrong for deserving more from your property, for even saying my air conditioning not working, for even saying this water is too cold and I can't get no hot water, when you are literally paying off these people's mortgages for these houses. When they pay these mortgages off for these houses, they probably gonna sell it again. So you're helping these people out. They should be kissing the floor that you walk on, because if it wasn't for you, they'd be over here struggling to make ends meet themselves.
Literally.
So
why do you think they chase you down if you don't pay exactly by the fist? Because they got bills too, and all your money that you pay to them is paying their bills.
it's literally like capitalism is a doggone Ponzi pyramid scheme.
Literally.
In all forms. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we want to talk about, guys. Like a laid back episode, but definitely a good one. I encourage you, if you have any landlord pages locally in your city, just check them out. You'll be surprised in who you see on these pages, and you'll also be surprised on what you find. And I think it's some good radicalizing work, if you ask me. But guys, that has been our episode today. Our Do Not Vote episode is coming out next week for sure. You can hit us up at buildingourpwr. Hit KT up at KT Does Art. Hit me up at Guy Beats Music. Again, if you want to support our community fridge and propagandizing, you can hit our PayPal up in the description, as well as check out that TeePublic and our merch. All proceeds go to that. Alright guys, that's been it. It's been Gabby
and KT,
and this has been Building Our Power.